Oh god, my tits. Welcome back to Embarrasing Vintage. If you do not know who this woman is, where have you been hiding? This is of course Ria Carruthers.
Greetings.
Yay! So we thought we'd do a video together, and quite a funny video I feel. We are going to do embarrassing stories that we have that include vintage.
Yes.
And
oh, can I just apologise for my creased shirt? Look, here we go. Didn't bring my steamer with me.
I have a
Never
steamer
mind,
here.
deal with it. It's fine.
We are going to be telling you our embarrassing stories. I have a few because, well, I am clumsy as anything. And it all to do with wearing vintage, because obviously when you buy vintage and you wear vintage, it is kind of very different to going out and buying Primark. You have to treat it with a lot more care. And sometimes you kind of forget that.
Yeah. And I think there's two things about the whole thing. Like, the first thing is that obviously you're more likely to do a damage to your vintage if you go out dancing. And there's just generally more risk, isn't there? Because the seams are going to be a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
But also, it's also more embarrassing, I think, especially if you go to an event. Like, I was at Twinwood last year on my own, turned up, gussied up in my suit and my hat, thought I looked absolutely amazing.
She probably did.
Went to the coffee queue, stood there thinking that everyone was looking at me thinking, look at her, bloody hell, she looks pretty good, on point. Yeah. And then someone came up to me and I was like, oh, she's coming up, she's going to compliment my suit. And she was like, love, your zip's down on your skirt. And my entire zip was completely open. My pants were on show for all to see.
Luckily you're
and I
wearing
was like,
pants.
That's brought me down, back to earth, with a bump.
I think it was last year, I was dancing with Laurie, and if you guys don't realise, Laurie is a lot taller than me. She's about a 5'9" and I'm about 5'5", 5'4". And I'm leading her and I'm wearing my beautiful like Beach Boys Pac Mu, really, really rare, really, really hard to find. And I go to lift my arm up and I hear a rip and I'm just like, I can't stop dancing, I have to carry on, because if I stop and then draw attention to the fact that I think I've ripped a seam,
it's going to make things worse.
It's going to make things worse. So we finish our dance and I'm just like, I go to sort of, you know, once you glance at yourself like, oh, what's the damage? Let me quickly have a look.
What's the extent of this issue that
and I
created
realised
myself?
The whole seam from here to here had ripped and my boob was basically out. And I was like, I need to go change now.
How is the piece? Is it?
I have a really good tailoress who literally managed to make it look like I never did anything in it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you do things like that, it's never going to go back to how it was.
I know. I mean,
like, it's just
a good seamstress can work absolute magic. They are
100%.
Not valued highly enough.
Exactly. Next story for you.
Well, I suppose. Well, I've got two. I guess the slightly unfortunate one was at your wedding, when I bought the most beautiful 1930s black velvet gown with. There's almost like three
cage diamantes.
Yeah, sort of like a cage detail at the back. So there were 3 strips, and it was absolutely beautiful. But obviously, alcohol and vintage. I mean, you don't drink, so you're all right with that.
No, I've never had
but
that.
For those of us who do, you know, you can get into some scrapes. And thankfully, I did not put my heel through the actual fabric, but I put my heel through the entire seam through the skirt. So that way, I just had. But you know, with vintage velvet or vintage silk or things like that, from the 20s and 30s, you think that you've gone right through the fabric, and then you've absolutely you've had it, haven't you?
You're
so
done.
I was really worried that I'd gone through the actual fabric. Thankfully, it was just a seam, but it must have been about this big, and then I had to deal with that for the rest of the evening.
Oh my god, yeah.
You have to own it, don't you?
Well, when I went to the bar, oh my god, I forgot about this. So on my wedding, like my wedding outfit, like my final sort of party wedding outfit.
The purple one.
The purple one.
Yeah.
I had to actually have 2 people undo me and unchange me to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. But that's part of the course of the wedding anyway, isn't it?
Literally, I was in the bathroom, like, help me! Help me! And there's like Laurie and Vanessa going, okay, 1 minute, let's just like try and shimmy this down, because obviously it was such a restrictive dress, because obviously behind it was the zip down, and then I had like the train on the back, and then I had foundation underwear as well underneath, but just like you know, those all-in-one sort of foundation underwear. So I really needed to pee, and I couldn't get it like up, because obviously when you're working with sequins, you're like, there's not a lot of room, and that dress didn't have like any flex. It was like, so I tried lifting up, but then I also had to take off this all-in-one foundation wear. I don't know how I managed to pee, but I peed once, and then like at the end of the night I was like, I'm going back to the room because I need to like completely and utterly derobe, and I need to like just walk around in my pants.
Your onesie and your pants.
My onesie and my pants. So that was like...
It's a good job you weren't drinking pints like I do, because oh my god, imagine that. You'd just be like spending the entire time in the loo. That's why I made sure my wedding dress was easy access.
Yeah. Filth.
So this isn't a problem with a vintage clothing piece per se, but it was a problem with a vintage look in general. And we were at Viva Las Vegas.
We were.
Earlier this year, and the Saturday they have a glamour ball, so everyone gets dressed up in their finery, and I have the most beautiful chartreuse 1940s gown. So I thought,
yeah, it was fantastic.
I definitely wear that, and I thought it'd be a great time to wear my copper 1930s style wig from Nisia's Hairstyling, which is absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
And I topped it off with a couple of gold glitter hair flowers from Shazam.
Yeah.
And we went off and we did our little ball thing, that was fine, and then we went to have a little bit of an early dance, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We went like downstairs, there was like a band sort of area, so it was a band and a DJ in between, flipping between both. And we found it, we were like, ooh.
Yeah, and I'm not the world's most accomplished jiver. I say amateur at best, but enthusiastic and...
enthusiastic. I love that.
At least.
But you've learnt to dance a different way. What are you actually trained in dancing wise?
So I'm trained in ballroom dancing, so I was a ballroom dancer my whole childhood until I was about sort of 13, 14.
Yeah.
And then I did a bit of salsa, so I'm used to it's sort of more structured dancing, where you know what the routine is going to be and you perform it, rather than it being sort of free.
But you found the guy that you were dancing with, he gave a little bit of ballroom vibes.
Yes, so this guy asked me to dance, and he was like the cutest guy, wasn't he? He was so sweet.
Cute.
He had a little
he was from Canada.
He was from Canada, and
he'd come on his own.
He'd come on his own, and he had a pale blue jacket on, little bow tie. We went onto the dance floor, it was going really well, and then all of a sudden, as I was being twirled around, I felt like there was some weight on one side of my head, and I thought, oh, my hair flowers are slipping down ever so slightly. And then they started slipping down even more until they were about here, and then I realised they must have been keeping my wig attached to my head.
Yeah, but you didn't like glue it to your head and you didn't pin it into your hair.
No, this is all my fault, right? So as the hair flowers sunk down this way, my wig went this way.
It was hilarious.
I caught Jade's eye, and she was like pissing herself, and I ran. I literally abandoned this poor chap. We went all the way around the venue to try and find him. We did locate him afterwards, and he I don't know what he thought had happened, but he came up to me and said, "Oh, have you changed your hair?" And I was like, "Mate, that was a wig. Did you not see it like going backwards as I ran away in horror?"
No clue. My most embarrassing, I think, is a twofold, because I forgot that actually something else happened.
Additional content.
Yeah. So basically, I went to Boppolina's, which is like an all-dayer in London, and I drove my butt up, and I thought, I'm gonna look really cute today. I'm gonna wear like a pencil skirt, because I've seen so many girls dance in pencil skirts, and I think they look really cute. And I was like, I'm feeling my fantasy, so I will try this vintage pencil skirt on, and I will wear it to the ball type of affair. So I got to Boppolina's, I met up with everyone, and I was like, oh, this is my jam! And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go and dance. Had a couple of dances, absolutely fine. Thought the skirt was a little bit maybe too tight for how I dance. Like, I like to just go, wah! All my body is sort of just like, woohoo! Probably a bad idea, and I've now learnt my lesson. So I was dancing with someone, and then suddenly the first thing that happened is that she punched me in the face.
Which is just what you want.
Yeah, so
What a result.
I was leading her. She may have been a little bit tipsy, and instead of like grabbing for the next hold position in the dance, she just full punched me in the face, and then literally stopped and went, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And then I was dancing away, living my best life, and all of a sudden I heard rip, and I was like, something has just gone, and I have a feeling I've got a little bit more air in my butt.
You're feeling that breeze.
I'm feeling that breeze in my bottom area, and I literally look behind. I actually had to stop. I looked behind, and my butt was out. Luckily I was wearing like really big granny panties, so add a bonus for that.
No thong.
No thong. And luckily it wasn't the time where I'm just going commando, because that does happen sometimes when you're wearing vintage. But yeah, it was such a rip that basically I had to then walk around the venue and out of the venue, and then luckily it was in a place where there were lots of shops. I went through 3 shops with my hand on my butt, hiding my pants, because I didn't want everyone to see my ass. I had to try on like 5 different items, and then I got into those trousers, which you will see like why I can't buy from the high street. That's the trousers that I bought to cover up my...
The Urban Outfitters.
Yeah. And then I had to dance for the rest of that night in a pair of trousers that I felt like pooping. But I got home, I looked at it, and the split was about that big. And I was like...
That is quite an achievement.
I know. You were banned from pencil skirts and dancing.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson, and that's, I think, probably...
It's probably the main ones. I'm thinking there's probably loads more.
Oh, there's probably loads that we could go into, but those are my like main sort of like boob out, but actually, have you realised?
Boob out, butt out.
Boob out, butt out, and not being able to pee. I mean, that's what I've had. When you know you're buying vintage, this is kind of the things that you are setting yourself up for.
Yeah, you've got to accept that these things are going to happen, unless you're going to just have them
just
in, on display,
and just go,
and you don't use them and enjoy them.
It's bound to happen. It's what happens like when people normally wear clothing anyway. There's always something, a mishap. But yeah.
But we'd love to hear. If you've got any mishaps that you can
love to hear in the comments.
I'm sure there must be loads. So.
Oh god.
Any funny stories, please share them down below.
Yeah, make us feel a little bit better.
Yes.
Because obviously we have just shared. We may have overshared.
It's
but
good to share.
Yeah, it is good to share. But thank you, Ria, for coming on the channel. I will leave all her socials down below, so go give her a follow if you are not following. Seriously, I still don't know why you wouldn't be following her. Come on now. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and
see you later.